Table setting for what's coming next.
Steak and mashed potatoes coming now.
For the halfway points, Chris Simms' new top 10, the revised top 10.
Right.
So let's roll out there last year's top 40. I say last year. This was earlier this year. This was summer.
Summer.
This kept me going this summer. It gave me a reason to get up and rolling in May and June, as we would do a new 5 or 10 each week. So say it again, Pete. Peak pandemic.
Yeah, you're
Pete
right.
just wanted to get in a little bit of alliteration there. Okay, so we see the top 40 there. We're not doing the entire top 40, just redoing the top 10. I know. Right. Okay, so new top 10, and here's how we're going to do it. Here's how Chris is going to do it. 1 through 10, he'll reveal 1. We'll talk about it 2, all the way up to number 10.
Okay,
correct? Am I understanding that?
Whatever way you want to go, Pete. You want to go 1 through 10 or 10 through? Okay, we'll go that way.
Pete and I had a staff meeting without you during the week, and that's what we.
I like that.
That's what we thought would be best. And I don't know who's going to be on this list.
I love it.
I wanted to be like all the other listeners and just be surprised.
Well, you know who number 1 is, so don't waste your time.
It was Patrick Mahomes.
And, I mean, of course it still is.
I mean, he's thrown an interception.
Oh,
they lost the game.
Put him down at 12 then. They lost the game.
I know.
Damn.
Not worth the money.
He is not. I mean, damn. They should ask for it back. Yeah, he's my number 1 quarterback. That's not even a thought. It's not a thought. You know, I listen, there's other guys out there that are amazing. I get it. But
1 loss in the last calendar year, 1 pick this year. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, you're awesome, and move on. I mean,
there's really nothing much to say. I mean, it's just he's going in the direction of one of the greatest we've ever seen, period. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
Right.
Can throw it any which way possible, clutch as hell, makes plays off schedule. You know, I mean, makes plays where if anybody else in football, I'd go, it's luck. That's luck. Can't believe he got away with that. It's luck.
Right.
Luck. You know, but like I said with Joe Burrow a few weeks ago, like I remember this with Mahomes, you know, in his rookie year, I just kept going, okay, it's week 6. I've said luck 74 times. It's not luck anymore.
It's not luck anymore.
It's not. And he's amazing.
And it's not just making it look easy. He's had a couple moments this year that I think, to me, are fun to watch. Early in the season against the Chargers, they didn't play well. He didn't play well, but down the stretch, in the end, he made a couple
the
three
runs
plays
and throws he made
that were
at the end
awesome.
Were amazing.
I always like seeing guys who've had a disappointing 3 quarters.
Yeah.
But then it's close.
Yeah.
They find themselves in a game.
Hey.
And he was really good when it counted.
Everything about the Chiefs is predicated on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Everything. So I give guys, and you're going to see in this list, and we'll get into it. I give guys who know the situations, you know, a little bit of an edge. I do. You know, there's a difference between, let's say, Mahomes right now, I think it's 25-1 or 26-1.
25.
And I think like a guy like Big Ben, all right?
Yeah.
Who, let me just pull up the stats as I sit here.
I got him.
He's like
67%, 22-4.
22-4. Totally different way of one getting to 25 or 26 touchdowns as compared to Big Ben getting to his 22. You know, one is, hey, the whole game's on you. Even our defense and how we play, it's on you, Mahomes. Go, do it. We need you to give us our greatest advantage and apply the pressure to the other team, and then that helps our defense play a style because our defense isn't like the most talented, but now we can play this style because you've set up those. So everything is about him and what they do. You know, Big Ben, he was like that for a long time in his career, but right now it's, hey, we got a great defense. I don't need to force the issue. I'll kind of just feel it out early. And then once I get a feel in the third quarter how they're playing us, I'll start to, take some chances here and there. To me, there's a huge difference between those two things. Even though the stats, touchdown, interception, might look very same, there's one that has way more pressure on him to deliver from the get-go of the game as compared to the other, and I put value in that.
It's good to add context to it. Roethlisberger was 14 last year.
Right.
I have him listed as one of the guys Chris might sneak into the top 10, but
He's not going to get in there. I'm
Okay.
sorry. He's not going to get in there. We'll let that out. I thought about him. He was one of those next group of guys, but no, not going to put him in there. Yeah.
Okay, so Mahomes number 1, no change at the top.
Yeah.
You had Russell Wilson number 2 heading into the season. For the majority of the season, you could make an argument he was right there with Mahomes at number 1. Based off the last month, you still have him at number 2.
No, I don't. I'm not. Number 2 is Aaron Rodgers right now for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, you know, again, when we talk about, first off, I would say he's next up in the MVP conversation for me right now. After Patrick Mahomes, it would be Mahomes 1, Rodgers 2. Why wouldn't it be? Same type of story. You know, same for Russell, I get that too, but same for Rodgers when it comes to like what we just talked about. The game is all about him.
And he's 26-3.
Right. So, it's all about him. Now, it might not be the same way Mahomes and company do it, and it's fun to watch with Hill and Kelsey and everybody flying around that way, but it's still all about him. The defense is nothing special. The run game is nothing special. Everything that they have success-wise is usually predicated off of him putting you in that spot. Oh, they're up 14-0. They're the best first quarter team in football. Now you got to get off your game plan a little. And, now we have to throw. Good thing you got to throw because we can't stop the run here in Green Bay. But Rodgers gave us the 14-point lead, and we got good pass rushers, so good thing he did that for us. To me, that's again. So, yes, he got the edge over Russell Wilson at number 3. All right.
So Wilson's 3.
Wilson's 3.
Yep.
Just because, listen, the 3 of the last 4 weeks, the Seahawks have lost, and one of the biggest reasons is Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I can't hide that.
Right.
The 2 games Green Bay lost, Rodgers wasn't the issue.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa, you could certainly say he was. Let's say it. Threw that pick 6 early, threw another interception to Devontae Adams. Okay, well, I'll be fair. I'll say that he should have. The
other loss was all Dalvin Cook.
All Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
He couldn't get the ball. They made mistakes on offense. It wasn't a Rodgers issue.
Right.
Even though we talked about it, it's a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. Okay, but I can definitively say he was a big reason they lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
He was a big reason they lost to the Bills.
I'll say the same thing I said a little while ago. Outside of Carson Wentz, Wilson has the most turnovers in the league.
Right.
And I knew no matter where he came up in this top 5, it's going to be a lightning rod for conversation because, he certainly belongs at 3. However, with those 3 losses, it's multiple picks in all the losses. They've lost 3 of their last 4. So to have somebody who's that high in turnovers, their team has lost 3 out of 4. They're going in the wrong direction. And we're going off of how they're playing now. This isn't who you'd pick for the next 5 years.
No,
how
it's
they're
all
playing
about right now. You're right.
How much consideration did you give to having him even lower than 3?
There's some guys here that they're close, but I don't think I'm willing to go above them yet.
Okay.
Because, again, I will say, same thing with like Mahomes and Rodgers that we just talked about. Russell, it is all about him, maybe even more.
Right.
Come on, we're historically bad defense out of Seattle. Historically. Can't run the football, really, and especially not with Chris Carson. So, again, you got to take into account that, yes, some of these turnovers happen, but, they're on plays where I go, he did that a few weeks ago, but it was a touchdown or a 20-yard gain, and nobody complained about it.
It's a fine line.
So every now and then, it's going to be bad when you're always going, please make magic. Please make magic.
Right.
And yes, he hasn't come through in some tough matchups and things like that, but he's still awesome, and he's still, no doubt, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the game for me.
Mahomes 1. We have Rodgers 2. Wilson number 3. 4 before the season was Deshaun Watson. This is another one that it's a lightning rod no matter what.
Yeah.
So who do you have it for now?
Yeah. I got a newcomer in the top 10 here. Somebody that was just out of my top 10 that I chickened out a little bit.
So he was just out of the top 10?
Just out of the top 10.
I'm going to say it's either Tannehill or Murray.
Murray.
You got Kyler Murray at
I'm
number 4?
going Kyler Murray, number 4. I am. He's amazing. We've never seen anybody be able to quite run his style at quarterback. I know Lamar Jackson can run. I get it. It's not the Kyler Murray style. It's not this quickness and the acceleration quite that way. And then, of course, he's a pretty damn polished passer, too. So I just look at that, and again, we can go into that conversation. Arizona is Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
It's all about him and the pressure he applies to you.
Yep.
And I will say, too, offensively, I think he's maybe in the least creative pass offense of the other 3 quarterbacks we talked about ahead of him.
I would not have expected that when Cliff Kingsbury came in, right?
That's not what people expect. But, Cliff is still growing, and it's getting better. Like, it really is. He's still growing, I think, in the NFL world. Listen, in college, he didn't have to change. He kept going, I throw for 600 yards every game. It's always open. What do I have to change? Now he's going, okay, I got to change this and that, and he's tinkering with it. But because of that, still, yeah, they get away with certain stuff and certain things because you have to play defenses you don't want to play because it's Kyler Murray. And you got to go, I got to put somebody in there in case he runs. Oh, wait, I got to put another guy in there in case they run a quarterback design run. And now you're compromised out here. And, of course, all the things he can do off schedule. So it's hard for me not to have him at number 4.
He's averaging 67 rushing yards a game. And it's one of those things where, so that's a number you can throw out there, but you don't know how much less a team that has based its defense off of blitz, how much less are they doing that because they're playing against Kyler Murray? You just can't seem to tackle him in the backfield.
No.
And he's almost at 70%, and he's 17 touchdowns to 8 picks. Numbers are fine, but he's one of those players where the numbers just don't even come close to doing it justice.
You're exactly right. That's the exact way to put it. There's the stats don't tell, the real story about him, because you're exactly right. That's the big thing. If they didn't have a quarterback like him, with some of the Cliff Kingsbury offense, people would be like, oh, I can shut this down. I can stop this play or this concept they like to run a lot, no doubt. But because of him, you have to play certain defenses to where you go, man, I got to play this defense, and now this really basic pass concept is going to be hard to cover. I mean, it's basic. Our defense has seen it 100 times, but I can't play the coverage I want because I got to worry about this damn Mighty Mouse back there running around all over us, or making some crazy plays. So, between that, clutchness, willpower, the aura and presence he's brought to the Cardinals, all of that, I there's no doubt he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football right now.
Your boldest pick so far, probably going to be your boldest pick of the top 10. Kudos to you for putting that out there. Kyler Murray at number 4. You used to have, and maybe you still do, Lamar Jackson at 5. Last year's MVP. Offense was the best in the league. Numbers are down a little now. So who do you got at 5?
He's coming up soon. He ain't at 5 right now, though.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to go with my boy Blue at number 5. Josh Allen's going to be the number 5 quarterback.
At 5?
He is. And again, you're seeing a theme here with my top 5. And I didn't even really mean to do this.
And he was, hold on one second, buddy. You had him at 18.
18 or 19, yeah, I thought so. Okay, yeah. And he was one of those guys, and Pete, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I clarified at 19. I said, he's got superstar ability. Yeah. He could be in the top 5 when the next year is over. He has that type.
He did, yep.
And he's just like the other guys. It's the same type of story. Once again, it's all about him. No defense, no run game. And, hey, we're going to apply pressure and win the game because our quarterback is special, and we're going to let it go that way. And he has made tremendous improvements. Accuracy.
Yes.
Running the offense, whatever you want to talk about, different types of throws that we thought, he can improve on the accuracy, or touch throws and things like that. All of them improved. Stop with the, I didn't think accuracy can be improved. Josh Allen, if you didn't realize it, he should be your poster child now. Obviously, it can be.
The numbers are phenomenal here, Chris. He went from 52% first year to 59%. He's at 68% now, and that in and of itself is tremendous, but his yards per attempt have gone up by over a yard. That's a massive, significant jump. So to jump up that much in your efficiency while you're pushing the ball downfield more, you don't often see those two things go up together at the same time.
No, you're right. They usually don't. But, one, a few more weapons.
Yes,
2, another year in an offense with Brian Daboll, so they can expand that. Daboll's smart. I think he probably realized some of the mechanical flaws he had. Wait, let's fix this and that. And he's done that. And then he makes him the better short game thrower.
Right.
And now that it makes those down the field throws more effective.
Yeah.
And it's all about him, and let alone his ability, again, make plays off schedule, is as good as anybody we've had on the list there.
Right.
It might not be the same way as Murray or Mahomes do it. It's more Mahomes-ish, though, with how he floats around and makes plays that way, to where, I know this sounds like arrogant, but I just feel like in my heart of hearts, I don't even think the top 5 is debatable.
Really?
I really don't, and I know I'm going to take flack for that statement.
I think your top 3 is not debatable.
Okay.
That somewhere it's Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson. I think you'd find a lot of debate about 4 and 5. Having Murray at 4.
4 for sure? You think 4? Because, he's the number 2 MVP candidate right now, or you think so? Or number 3 MVP.
I think some people would chime in.
I can see the Josh Allen thing. I understand that. There's going to be people, because they just still are watching highlights from him in Wyoming, and they're like, oh, he's not accurate.
I don't think either one of them are out in left field at all. I think you've got really good conviction.
Yeah.
There's wins, there's numbers, there's the eye test with all of it.
Yeah.
I don't think you're off. I do think people are going to listen and say, I don't agree with number 4 and number 5.
That's fine. That's cool. I bet you I'm going to get more flack for number 5 than I will for number 4.
Yeah.
just because it's Kyler Murray right now. Everyone's warm and cozy with Kyler. Oh, he won a Heisman. I saw him in the Final Four games in college.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's been telling me he's good forever, so he's good. I know that. He's good. Look, and Arizona's good, so he's good. Josh Allen, it'll probably take 3 more years of everybody to finally be like,
Why is that? I mean, because, again, the wins are there. He has fantastic throws every single week. He doesn't have manufactured numbers. I mean, he's one of these guys who he'd rather push it 20 yards downfield than take the check down.
Yeah, he's like the opposite. You're
right.
Just like, every now and then.
Why do you think people would debate 5-1?
It just goes into perception and people not wanting to get off their original thought. That's the biggest thing to me. I've heard announcers, they go into it when they do a Bills game. Mm-hmm. As soon as he makes a bad throw, they go, see, this has been the issue with Josh. And I want to go, really? You're going to bring something up from, 3 years ago? He just threw 70 strikes in the game. He threw one off, and you go, see, here's the problem. And I hear it every week. They've been working on accuracy. The accuracy conversation's over. It's at 70%. It's one of the most aggressive passing games in football. Get over it. It's done. And what bothers me is people go back to that, like, oh, that's what I saw in college. But then, they don't do that when they watch Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, when they gave them these astounding grades, and they don't go, in college he did this way better, but now in the NFL he stinks at it. Where's that conversation?
People were attached to his, I don't remember the exact completion percentage coming out of Wyoming, but that was, he's got great talent, but he's not very accurate.
Again, we've talked about it all the time. Context matters.
Yeah.
This team around him was as shitty as I've seen with a top 10 quarterback in football the last, I don't know how many drafts. In some of the games, we've talked about this too. The weather is phenomenal. I don't care. You can bring Elway, Drew Brees up there. They were going to throw around 50%.
Yeah.
He's throwing in like snow blizzards and had no talent around him too. So that's this is where people mess up on evaluating quarterbacks, in my opinion, a lot of the time.
Love it. Josh Allen from 18 up to 5. Now, I know this is changing. At 6, you had Carson Wentz.
He's not in the top 10.
Yeah, so who's your new 6?
My new I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson at 6.
Who was at 4?
And Deshaun Watson is still playing great football.
They've won 2 games.
I know. And it's a team sport. But they're not losing because of Deshaun Watson. In fact, they would be 0-for if it isn't Deshaun Watson. And in a lot of these games, they wouldn't be competitive if it isn't for Deshaun Watson. I mean, there's been a few games this year where I go and you watch on TV, the Texans aren't like my, top tier priority right now. And you see them lose a game and you go, oh, man, all right, yeah. Didn't look like Deshaun did anything special that day or anything like that. But then I would turn on the film and be like, holy crap, Deshaun was amazing. And they would have been blown out if they didn't have Deshaun. And all of those type of things. I'll take it back to the Tennessee Titans game. They lost in overtime a few weeks ago. I mean, they did nothing to help him. It was all Deshaun Watson just making unbelievable play after unbelievable play. They lost and all of that, and people are going to blame Deshaun Watson, but it's really not his fault. He's still, to me, just a special quarterback. And so I'm going to move to the next one here because this was a tough conversation for me in this part of it. Because I got Deshaun 6, and I made Lamar 7. Lamar Jackson at 7.
What was the hardest part about that?
Well, Lamar is the NFL MVP.
Yep.
He was a top 5 quarterback for me.
Had him at 5.
Had him at 5. He's still doing a lot of good things. He's taking way too much criticism right now, in my opinion. Way too much. But I just got down into it and went, okay, yeah, he's not playing his best football. Watson, okay, yeah, you could say he's not playing his best, but is playing really damn good. And I got into if I was an offensive coordinator or a head coach, who would I want a quarterback? And I want Deshaun Watson.
Take Deshaun.
I would, because not that he has the threat of running that Lamar does, but there's still a threat there to where you'd be able to do some of it. But then I think his pocket Deshaun Watson's a pocket passer,
right?
Who just happens to have the ability to run. That's really the best way we should explain. He wants to dice you up with his right arm, and then when he just can't find anybody open, he's got the luxury of having some good legs and playmaking ability. But he is really a pocket passer at heart, and I think that's where I like him. I think he would translate to more offenses, and I think he translate to more pressure on defenses on a week in, week out basis because of that.
I think your sequence here at 6-7 with Deshaun at 6, Lamar at 7, really puts something to the test that since you and I have been talking quarterbacks a lot the last couple of years, I know that you don't value wins, interceptions, completion percentage as much as other people do when it comes to the ranking.
Right.
But this really puts it to the test when you have somebody whose team has only won 2 wins.
Yeah.
Or only won 2 times.
Right.
Ahead of a team that's going to be in the playoffs.
I know. But, again, the one thing we could say to that, right, is that other guy that the team's going to be in the playoffs has a roster that we've talked about many times ago, and maybe is this one of the best rosters in football. It's, a big overpowering offensive line. It's one of the best defenses in football. And this is where, we get into our conversation where hopefully we straighten people out this way to go, it's a team sport.
Right.
If you switched Lamar and put him on Houston, they'd be 2-7.
Right.
Or 1-8, maybe. Really. And I'd go, if you put Deshaun in Baltimore, they'd be every bit as good, maybe better. That's just the way I look at it.
Right.
So, again, it's a team sport that way, and I'm not going to just be totally always overwhelmed by, wins, losses, touchdown, interception.
I think it's refreshing. I think it's great because I think people that I've respected a lot through the years, and I do it too, it's easy to come back to, the team wins. He's completing 70% of his passes. Those are easy things to hang on to, and I like that you are able to go to some of the other things and really sell them with your conviction. So I think that's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There's more to it when it's evaluating a quarterback. And with Watson too, Watson's throwing right around 70%. He's second in his team leading in rushing. He's talented too, and his defense sucks. So he's got nothing to help him. And, Lamar, where I want to say, it's not the same year, but again, let's take into account, his running is a big part of him at quarterback. So we got to take that into account. The numbers aren't always going to be great throwing the ball. The offense doesn't lend itself to that. The passing game is predictable. We're putting a little too much on Lamar right now, in my opinion. In the media, I hear too much of what's wrong with Lamar. I want to go, what's wrong with the pass offense?
Right.
Can we have more concepts?
Right.
Can we find other ways to get guys the ball? And that, to me, is more of an issue than Lamar.
Which part of the blame goes to just him individually, though? Like, you don't have to say he's regressing, but if he's stuck in his – as he evolves into a permanent top 5 quarterback, what has him kind of in the same spot or maybe even taking a step back?
Yeah, I don't really look at it because he had a few games where I went, man, he didn't throw the ball great. I haven't seen him do that since his rookie year or early as a starter last year when he was just his second year in the league, but his first year as a full starter. There were some games there I went, oh, man, that throwing wasn't great that day. It was okay, got enough, but it wasn't great. This year I saw it a few times early in the year, like the Chiefs game. I thought there were some moments of going, and then the Washington game. But after that, it kind of stopped, and it's been on point. So I don't know if there's any area I can look at to say he's regressed. I think he's actually gotten better in the pocket. The big thing is their offensive lines had injuries.
Yep.
The best left tackle in football is not there.
Yep.
Marshall Yanda retired.
Yep.
Their rookie, who I'm blanking on his name, who was a starter early in the year, got hurt. They've had to shuffle things around. People have all studied Baltimore in the offseason. I've already mentioned to you about other teams who run the Lamar Jackson quarterback runs. So those teams are getting to defend it in practice. It's the league, it catches on fire. That's how it happens.
Right.
So some of those staples last year that we went, whoa, they're just gashing people. This year they're getting 4 yards. And that has a ripple effect to now where the other things you do off of it don't gash you the same way and all of that. So I don't look at it any way on him. I don't.
But yet you dropped him a couple too.
I did. I dropped him a couple because I feel like, I guess what I would say is more of, I guess I want more of him to make it happen in the pass game. I want a little bit more of what I've talked about with the guys previous to him. Hey, there's nothing open, okay, move around, make a play, make a sidearm throw, do that. That's probably where I want more of him. I'm glad we talked about this because it helped to flesh it out in my own brain. But therapy, I think that's where it is. But that's where I want to stick up for him and just go, like the Patriots this past week, they were all over their pass concepts. They got to put one more egg in the stop the run basket because they went, oh, we feel pretty comfortable about how we're going to defend their pass game.
Yeah.
And there was just too many plays where I go to the old adages. They just had guys right where they were trying to throw it.
Yeah.
And in zone coverages. And that's when I start to go, oh, people are all over your stuff a little.
I think it's good to point out, good perspective, that someone isn't either awesome or they suck. I mean, there is, okay, maybe a little bit lesser than he was a year ago, but still a lot to love about it. And I think that's very fair to point that out. It's not all awesome or, boy, he's terrible, I was wrong, that he wasn't that good.
No.
There's something in the middle that makes a lot of sense.
There's something in the middle, and here's another one, because I saw this in Pittsburgh in the Kansas City game too. Just just having a little bit better of a feel, like the Pittsburgh game. Hey, it's Pittsburgh, the run game. Hey, you got to throw here. They got a great pass rush. You can't dance around in the pocket all day long. You got to make the move and get out or throw the ball or do whatever. Little nuances like that, I guess I would say he could get better at too. But, all in all, it's still a lot of damn good. Yeah, he's just not quite as on fire as he was last year.
So at number 8, you had Dak Prescott. We talked last week that nobody who is injured and out for the season is going to be on the list.
No.
So Dak not being at 8 has nothing to do with how he was playing. He's not around for the rest of the season, unfortunately. So your new number 8s?
Going to Rookieville. Going to Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert showing up at number 8, ahead of Burrow and obviously ahead of Tua.
No, I know.
Okay. Justin Herbert from number, hold on a second, I got it on the last page. From number 37.
37.
Out of 40 preseason. All the way up to 8.
I'm not going to be chicken with these rookies anymore. I'm just telling you from now on.
Yeah.
I won't be.
Because I know at times in the past, like you maybe held off a little bit, and now you're just like, screw it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been burned by it. Like people shit on me the year Patrick Mahomes didn't play. I had him in the top 32 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And the next year I wanted to be like, so wait, can somebody say sorry?
Yeah.
Sorry, I yelled at you for having him at 29.
And now people are going to yell because they've won twice.
Yeah. Again, whoop-de-freaking-do. Have you watched the Chargers? That's where you got to go. Go back from his first game on. There's just very few bad reads or missed throws. And there is a ton of, oh my gosh, wow, unreal throw, good decision, great accuracy, great touch, way to hang in there in the pocket with people all over you. Whoa, they're all out blitzing. He's got pressure. He throws it off his back foot 65 yards. I mean, it's off the charts good. It's off the charts good. And it's an offense that doesn't lend itself to great quarterback numbers. Right. It's not like it's a wide open, high-flying Patrick Mahomes affair, or even what Joe Burrow gets to do and be in the shotgun with all the spread stuff all the time. It's none of that. So to me, it's been special from every aspect, let alone he's a guy, again, you throw into that list that there's a lot of plays when nothing's there. Yeah. You still go, they got 20 yards because he made a throw that only like 4 people on the planet can make.
We talked about it earlier in the podcast when we were breaking down the matchup against the Dolphins and Tua Herbert. That was fun to do. For everybody who's just catching this part and listening to the top 10, what are some ways that Chargers offense can highlight what he's good at even better? Yeah,
well, I just think that the ball in the game should be in his hands more. I think that has to be, this year's over, it's done.
Yeah.
But that has to be the focus, and I would make it the focus even from here on out. Let's just make it all about our quarterback here at the end of the year. Let's grow him. Let's grow our offense. He is not overwhelmed by anything in any situation. We've seen clutch drives, even when they lost the Raiders game. Man, his fault. He threw 2 strikes to the receivers to win the game. They dropped him. Sorry. So, yeah, he lost that game. He only got 2 wins. Well, I mean, he can't catch it and throw it at the same time. So, but that to me would be the next thing I'd want to see. Yeah. Is more of that.
Let him push it downfield more often.
Yeah, and not even and just open the field more. Even the short, quick passing game. I mean, he's good at it all. He's good at it all. There's just too many games right now where they don't do him any favors, and it's like, we're going to manage you.
Still treat it with kid gloves a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also like, but why? There's nothing that shows he's a kid, and you keep playing this game with the kids' gloves, and then you got to rip these kids' gloves off and go, whoa, we're in a man's game right here, and now you ask him to be a man all of a sudden. And that's where I think it frustrates me a little.
And in a way, they're in a perfect situation to do that because it's not like they're a game above 500 or a game below where they're really fighting for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Season's
it's done.
kind of over.
It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Night-night.
Turn it up. Turn him loose.
Right.
And see what he's got at the next level.
Exactly. See if you can grow him and, being at the line of scrimmage, calling his own plays, or you give him 2 plays and do that. But I think that should be. And either way, whether the wins and losses, again, I'd love to see him win. But you see them. They're a team, again, not very many easy completions.
Right.
The throws are it seems like they're all down the field for the most part. And he's throwing for 66.8%.
Yeah.
It's 19 touchdowns. It's 6 interceptions. I mean, it's with no great defense and no great running game to go with it. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty damn impressive.
I'm going to reach into my imaginary bag of social questions that I'm picturing out there and just pull one out. And you can attach whatever name you want to it. But someone wants to ask, if you were going to have one rookie at number 8 on your list from the Miami-LA game, why did you pick Herbert over Tua? Tua played better.
Well, yeah, sure. I guess you could say that. Yeah, I know Justin Herbert threw the interception late and all of that, but I'm not going to sit here and just go. Tua had a better day on that day. His team was significantly better though, and we've yet to see Tua in any sort of like fashion of what Justin Herbert's had to do yet. Like, haven't seen him how to play a game like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Games have fallen perfectly
or the New Orleans Saints. Right, they've fallen perfectly. Or Tua, where I could go through a few games with Herbert and go, oh, no, he had to win the game. He had to make it a game. The Bucks, the Saints game, the Broncos bringing them back. The Raiders game where, he brings them back. Or not the Broncos, he had the lead already. The Raiders game where he brings them back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he can't close the game out. He can't rush the passer and do all of those things too. But I've seen a lot of moments of where the game is on him. Yep. And he delivers.
And that's not Tua's fault. I mean, it's awesome for him that his defense and special teams have been that good. But he hasn't been in as difficult situations as Herbert has.
Yeah. And listen, I know there's a lot of Tua fans out there. And maybe we get to the end of the season and I got a better feel for him. I'll tell you where I think he might be as
only
related
played
to
3 games.
I know.
And if you listen earlier in the podcast, we talked about him, and he did a nice job.
He did.
He did a nice job on Sunday. Okay, so that's 8, Justin Herbert. Last year, number 9, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that he's not on this list.
Sorry. Goodbye.
Who do you got at 9?
Going to Rookieville again. Going to Joe Burrow.
There you go.
Yep. It's Joe Hio, okay? But Burrow, I mean, I've been so impressed with just about everything in his game, other than moments of going, I wish his arm was a hair more powerful. I think we've discussed that. But even that, I've seen him fix little issues with that as the years gone along. From the get-go, they've put it on him. Hey, we drafted you number 1. We're not very good. We're going to put you in the shotgun. You got to throw it 40 times, and you got to pick them apart for us to win the game because our defense isn't good. We don't have a great running game. In fact, we can't even really protect you. So we might need you to just run and make some crap happen too either. And it's flying colors. Again, I don't care what the record looks like. He does things on the field that, I'm telling you that I don't think there's quarterbacks outside this top 10 that can do it. Whether, his ability to throw accurate balls, process information. He gets into the conversation a lot where people listen to the podcast, they'll hear me say this, where I've gone, that's lucky. Yeah. But I go, that's the 7th time this game I've said it's lucky. It's not lucky. It's not. He's got an innate feel and an ability to see the field that very few people have. And then he has an arm that, great touch, great anticipation, enough power to scare you down the middle and deep down the sidelines. And then off of that, unbelievable ability to extend plays and avoid pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. It really is.
And it's not the extending plays where he's going to run 15 yards outside the pocket and 15 yards downfield.
No.
It's the 2 or 3 yard little shuffle and reset.
He moves around like this, and then he goes like that, and then he does this, and he dips around and he throws it. And you're like, man, that was amazing. He broke 4 tackles in a 6-yard span there and got a 20-yard completion.
Yeah.
And and I know
sometimes the numbers, the numbers kind of mislead, and there are more important things. However, as a rookie quarterback, no games with multiple picks.
It's amazing.
We're in mid-November. He hasn't had a single game where
as
he's thrown
much
more
as
than
they're
one
asking
pick.
him to throw the football.
Right?
Right.
Awfully good.
Yes.
No games under 50%. Maybe not as impressive as no games without a pick, but he just hasn't had these rookie kind of games where you watch and you're like, oh, he's got potential, but man, he's a long way away.
Yeah.
He hasn't had those moments.
Not at all. I don't really. He is not a long ways away. He is ready for prime time right now. If they do this right and build the team the right way in the offseason and things like that, they could be one of those teams next year where we go, man, they're a player in the AFC this year.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's not going to fall off. He's only going to get better. And, yeah, like you said, he's just so well-schooled, and everything about him is really phenomenal, let alone clutchness and everything like that. So, I look at Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert as being superstars already as rookie on that trajectory.
Have you seen any evidence of what we talked about last spring where you loved what you saw, but questioned maybe, I don't know if his arm is quite good enough to be elite? Have you seen any signs of that?
I mean, there's been a few throws. It's more early in the year. And I talked about this, I think, because you were still, doing some of your other work where we weren't on the pod together consistently. But yeah, there was a few throws early in the season where I went, oh, man, he missed some go routes and underthrew some where you go, man, he should hit that. But he's really corrected it, and I've talked about this, he corrected mechanically a little bit. If you watch him the first 2 games of the year, his motion was going to that opposite pocket.
Yeah.
Now he's making an effort to try to come across his body.
Yeah.
And I do think it's created a little bit more power for him. I do.
I think it's interesting that you pointed that out with Josh Allen. Always had a strong arm, but maybe tweaked his delivery a little bit.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. People so often think that a quarterback can't do that.
It's so wrong to think that, I heard Terry Bradshaw say it a few weeks ago with Josh Allen, and I wanted to go, what?
He said that you cannot.
And I wanted to go, wait, Terry, you came into the NFL as so inaccurate, and you got better. How could you say that?
Right.
I don't understand. You can change and get better. I've seen too many quarterbacks do it. See, where everybody is getting into that conversation, I've said this before, is we use people who can't throw at all as our example. Oh, Tim Tebow, see, you're not a natural thrower, you can't throw it. Yeah, Tim Tebow could never throw anything. At no point. He's a great runner, a great athlete, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So it was never natural to him. To people who it's natural to, even though they might have some issues with this little area of throwing or whatever, when it's natural to a person, you can start to tell, hey, try this, do that. It might help you.
Right.
And because it's natural, they can go, oh, wait, you're right. That does feel good. And all of a sudden, you fix problems.
There you go. Okay, so 10.
Yeah, 10.
10. So I'm going to read, obviously only one spot left.
Yeah.
We've got Tannehill, would be a good candidate. Roethlisberger, you already said he wouldn't be on there. Brady and Breeze are both out there.
Tannehill's who I'm going with, though.
Tannehill's your guy at 10.
I'm going with Tannehill.
I thought he'd be even higher.
I thought about it. I'll tell you this. This is why Tannehill's not higher. Because, not going to lie, when I told you some of those ones I was deciding on, right? Hey, Lamar and Deshaun, where should I go there? I was worried about that. One of my original lists I wrote out, I had Tannehill in front of Herbert and Burrow.
Yep.
I did. You know what I basically got down to is I just went, they ask more of those guys than Tannehill. Tannehill is awesome, and he delivers, but he gets to play a game where it just gets put out there for him. Now, they need to change it.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw last week. We were texting on the Thursday night game.
You said offense needs more diversity.
Offense needs more diversity. If it's open, he'll hit it.
Yeah.
He is a good runner, but he doesn't use his running to scramble enough and make plays happen, in my opinion. I'd like to see him more. He's too good of an athlete sometimes. If you just sit there, wait, nobody's open. No, get out, move, go, do something. Be like Josh Allen or Joe Burrow and move around and do that. He totally has the ability to do it. But, yeah, I think that's where, in a game like last week where you go, ooh, things are sputtering, impose your will on the game, Ryan Tannehill. And I think some of the guys I have in front of him impose their will a little bit more than he does at times. Mm-hmm. And, it's why we're on that, too. Yeah, Tennessee, we know we want to run the ball with Derrick Henry. We know that. They got to do some stuff to keep people off it a little bit. The game can't just be run it, okay, it's just going okay, the run game, but we got our play-action passes. Okay, they've been pretty good, but we still can't run it, and now we've run a few play-action passes, and now the play-action passes aren't open either. Okay, so what's the next move? And that's you got A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. Like, why don't they have more of the fake speed sweeps, wide receiver screens? They don't need much. They just need a little to keep people off the Henry run game.
Would make Derek even better, too.
I think so. I just, when we were texting Thursday night, I just thought that's what came to me as I was sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
It can't just always be 2 tight ends to the right. We're going to run zone cutback. Oh, 2 times to the left. We're going to run zone cutback. Okay, now we're going to be a play action, and we're going to try to hit a post down the middle or something like that. There's got to be more to it to make the defenses think about more areas of the field.
In a way, he's the most efficient, best game manager right now, right, yeah, but he could be even more.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly right. He can be more. He can. They need to help him out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I also think he could press the issue a little bit more too. There's been a few games this year where I go, hey, come on, big guy, take over. You got the ability here to kind of make more happen than what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's my top 10. Brady was up there.
Breeze.
Brady was up there.
Mm-hmm.
Breeze is not up there.
Yeah.
Sorry, not in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not to like the fringe top 10.
Yeah.
But Brady, hey, the mind, the decision making, and throwing the ball down the field as well as ever. But the thing I'll say too, hey, he's on an all-star team. All right. I mean, the team's awesome. It's awesome. He's lost games for them this year. You could really sit there and go, all 3 games they lost. If you had to pick one culprit, again, you could pick Tom Brady. The Saints game was bad both times. And then the Bears game was I thought it was 3rd down game.
Yeah.
And not that was his fault, but it wasn't a great game by him. And I think here, just to button up at the Brady thing, because I know that'll be a talking thing, is all the things he can deliver you from, experience and reading a defense and all that. I don't think it's great enough to me to where go, wait, when there's nothing there or, nothing to be had, all these other guys can still make stuff happen.
Yep.
And that's just where, as talking to me, that's important to me. Derek Carr, also another name I had very close.
I was going to say, I had Ed Carr and Goff as guys both who were, I think, had played better this season than their rankings
Definitely.
showed. When you wrote down Tannehill at 10.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be Brady. I mean, Brady fits in well with the talking points. But
right.
What's the name that you maybe hesitated and thought, well, maybe this guy?
I think it was Carr. I really thought about Derek Carr.
And that would have bumped him all the way up.
Because he was around 18 or 19 or 17, somewhere in there, I want to say.
Pete, I don't have him written down.
Yeah, he's somewhere in the Josh Allen, Jimmy Garoppolo area, and okay. I believe I had him at 17 or 18.
I'm sorry, 19.
19. Okay, good. Yeah. So, he's having a great year.
Yeah, he is.
And then also being more aggressive at times and doing things the right way. But to me, still, the reason he doesn't make the list as compared to the others is those guys make a lot happen when nothing's there. I'm big into that.
Yep.
Tannehill, I want more of that, but Tannehill, I also gave credit to go, man, if there's just a smidgen there to get a ball in the window, he gets it in every time. Like, perfect throw. Mm-hmm. And I have something there. There's something there to that, too. So we'll see. Everybody, ask me questions, whatever you want to talk about with my top 10.
So, Pete, I don't know if we have the actual list to show or not, but I'll just run through it real quick. Mahomes at number 1. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers. 3, Russell Wilson. 4, Kyler Murray. 5, Josh Allen. At 6, Deshaun Watson. 7, Lamar Jackson. 8, Justin Herbert. 9, Joe Burrow. A couple of rookies back-to-back. And then at 10, Ryan Tannehill. Well done, man.
Thank you.
Do that again sometime soon.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.